Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we head into the elimination race of the round of 12, 14 points to the good going into one of my wheelhouses, the Charlotte ROVAL. So this should be an easy advancement into the round of 8, but what we're waiting to see is what happens to Ryan Blaney, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Austin Dillon as well, as they are on a quest to try and advance into this round of 8 along with myself here. Now 14 points, if things go wrong, you know, it's still not going to be an easy task to advance through this round, so we do still have to be smart and can't really take any silly risks and make any silly mistakes either here now, as we would get qualifying underway in this Flow Racing number 27 Chevrolet Camaro. And I called my shot in the last episode and said, you know, if we come into the Charlotte ROVAL, in my opinion, like less than 5 or 10 points below the cut line, then we're probably going to advance, and we come in with a very nice advantage of 14 points. But you know, this 4-star RCR car has driven different on any road course we've come to than I've imagined it would, and you can see there was being mistakes made right off the bat here in qualifying. I go right into the safer barrier there, so it was a bit of a sloppy qualifying lap to say the least. Got through the bus stop chicane pretty well, and now into this final chicane. It was a little bit rough through here as well, but it wasn't too bad. We come through to cross the line for 119.575. That's going to put us P17 here for the beginning of this Charlotte ROVAL Bank of America 400 race. So another qualifying effort we were looking for. Definitely could have done better there without, you know, slamming into a barrier, certainly, but you see the rest of that qualifying order right there. Chase Elliott there rounds up the top 10. On pole it's going to be Kyle Larson, with Kurt Busch joining him on the front row. You all want to know, how is Kyle Larson going to find a way to throw another win away here in this NASCAR Heat 5 career mode? Usually he's had the pace to win races, but he just hasn't actually won. He's still winless this season, but now he's in a prime opportunity because it is very difficult to pass the leader at the Charlotte ROVAL. So we'll see what happens with Kyle Larson here as the green flag is out, and we are underway here from Charlotte for the round of 12 elimination race there. Already 3 wide down into turn 1. Austin Dillon sent one up my inside. Dillon right now 2 points below the cut line compared to Kurt Busch, who's that first driver he's trying to, of course, beat by those 2 points. But unfortunately for Austin, Kurt Busch started on the front row, so a lot of work needs to be done in that number 3 Wheelin' Chevrolet Camaro here today. Now, as you can see myself around the outside of that number 12 of Ryan Blaney, another driver who's trying to advance into that round of 8. However, starting this far down the grid and being so far below the cut line, already over 10 points below, he has got a lot of work to do here today in the Charlotte road course. So you can see myself now trying to go around the outside of my teammate of Austin Dillon. Not quite working out right there now as we head through into this transition back onto the oval, into oval 1, and we're once again going to be alongside that Wheelin' number 3 briefly, but we would settle in behind Austin Dillon, and here you see him closing up to the back of Logano and Ty Dillon. Kyle Larson leads the way through that bus stop chicane up there in front of us. Only 5 laps here in stage 1 to work with, so not a lot of time there. Contact actually with the 34 of Michael McDowell, so he's going to go and actually steal the position. Contact again, that was not intentional. I went wide there just out of natural instinct and drove right into his quarter panel, but now we're going to get the elbows up, make it 3 wide with him, as well as the Eric Almirola, and then number 10 machine back up to P17 we go. And right off the bat, feeling out the vibes, we can see this is going to be an elbows out physical kind of day here in this Charlotte road course, if that first lap is a teaser to anything, to say the least. Now, as you can see, all these drivers clumped together right here is an opportunity for us to gain a bunch of positions all over the back of the 96 of Ty Dillon, and again Austin Dillon here as we head down in through the right-hander. We're going to try and take P2, but a little bit of a curb hop right there keeps us side by side, more momentum in favor of that number 3 here, but sure enough we will take the position. But we go wide that time there. We send it a little bit too hard into the corner. Eric Almirola trying to send one up the inside as well. He was able to pass Austin Dillon, so great scraps happening here in the first about lap and a half of this race, but finally we get P16 there, and then we're going to try and put that fight next to that 96 of Ty Dillon. End of the lap now, coming to lap 3, and here we are closing in on the back of Denny Hamlin as well as Dillon again as we dive down into turn 1. Decide to be a little bit smart there, back out of it, let the number 11 FedEx Toyota Camry have the position. We're not necessarily in dire need of stage points here today. We just need to survive, really. That's the big goal, and that should allow us to advance. 14 points cushion will be enough to where we can make that sacrifice of no stage points if we have to be too aggressive to get it here. Now, as speaking of aggressive, we're going to go crashing into the barrier there on the exit of the right-hander. We caught the curb. It kicked the car out. Significant damage to the front of the car. You can see it on the left top of the screen, and our car is immediately significantly down on horsepower, and it was just a simple error on my part. I throttled up, I clipped the curb with one of the rear tires, and it just hooked the car, and I think we could have gotten away with it. However, Ty Dillon was right there and clipped me in the right rear quarter panel and basically just dealt the final blow. So I said we, don't necessarily need stage points. However, we don't need to find ourselves this far down the order. That's not going to help us by any means going into that final stage where all the points are up for grabs. So definitely a big error right there that could be pretty costly here going into that final stage. I had no horsepower in this car. Now, through the road course section, I did still have a lot of speed. Final lap underway here in stage 1. You see a bunch of smoke actually up ahead of us here now, and someone's going wide into turn 1 or something up there. I do see it's actually the 2 of Brad Keselowski, a playoff driver. This is going to be helpful for us. Keselowski is blowing a tire or an engine. It looks like a tire to me. That might be the end of the day for the number 2 of Brad Keselowski. Here was a replay of what happened briefly before this happened. He actually went spinning in oval 3 and 4. He recollects the car, and as he's actually heading down into the chicane, he spins it around again, and finally he scrubbed off enough speed to where he could get that car, to keep it from crashing, I should say here. But Kyle Larson, he won stage 1, got a playoff point. It was P38, and myself and Brad Keselowski, absolute disasters for us here in this first and opening stage, but even more for Keselowski compared to myself, because look at that, he's now scored 1 lap down, although he actually never went a lap down, but he would be out of the race. So Keselowski is out going into stage 2 as we were back underway with Kyle Larson leading the way. It is time to get amped for a lap here in the Charlotte Roval. Turn up the volume. Lap 2 in stage 2, 4 laps to go, and we continue to try and recover from that error there in stage 1. So I wasn't quite sure what the points situation was, because I really wasn't concerned about it too much. Still wasn't paying a lot of attention because I was confident that we could work our way up there and get a good finish out of it still here. So up into the top 30 now, trying to run down Ryan Preece and trying to not wreck myself on that curb right there. But we were making moves. We were moving forwards here now on the inside of that 37 back onto the oval 1 transition here. And there you see Ryan Newman side by side with, I believe that's Timmy Hill. Yes, it is in that number 66 machine. We passed Newman, and then we would actually take a whole lap to the next lap into turn 1 to actually get around the outside of Timmy Hill there. So P27. This car, it's a 4-star car, and on the road courses, it's still obviously difficult, more difficult than it was previously to make moves there. And you see the 41 of Cole Custer. He's gone around actually in the road course section. No caution, so we're going to keep it green. That's not a playoff driver. Oh, there's a caution right there. NASCAR throws a yellow. That is not what we needed, because that just scrubbed laps off, and we are going to be P26 here in stage 2. We still had 3 laps to go. We could have gotten towards the top 20. So now we're going to come back into the pits for 4 tires again, fill it up with fuel, but as well there's going to be some more laps now in stage 3 due to the early end of stage 2. So now we are not going to be able to make it on fuel, so we will have to make a green flag pit stop. Now thankfully it's a road course, so we can kind of pit whenever we really want and not have to worry about going a lap down, which is really nice. So we can get creative with the strategy if we start getting maybe stuck in traffic here. It's now 16 laps to go. We are underway for the third and final stage here from the Charlotte Roval. Now down into turn one, just behind that 66 to Timmy Hill. We did lose some ground on the pit lane there to be able to make some repairs to this number 27 Flow Racing machine here, but all over the back of that Valvoline Chevrolet of William Byron, who was eliminated there in that round of 16 in a few episodes ago here. So P24, we got some time here, a lot of laps of racing, 16 laps to go to be specific. So there's not necessarily a need to get too aggressive here. We just got to slowly work our way forward, getting a little bit of damage there on the right front, again clipping that wall. The car, you know what the reality was, this car was not driving good at all. It's been a frustrating weekend so far here on the Charlotte Roval. I haven't been able to push it to the capacity that I would like to be able to push this car to, and when I do try to push it to that capacity, well, you saw what happened earlier. We were head on into a barrier with help from the 96 of Ty Dillon as well here as we close in on the back of Justin Haley down into that bust up corner. Kyle Larson continues to lead. I said it earlier, how does Kyle Larson throw it away this time? Because he has not put a foot wrong so far here today in this Charlotte Roval. Trying to make moves right there on Haley as well as Byron. We get to the inside of that number 77, and we might have a chance here to go for a move on Byron and McDowell. Decide to think better of it right there, though. Just said once again, let's be smart about this and wait for the opportunity to actually happen, which could be right here, actually into the back of the 24 of Byron there, getting a little bit more damage on that front end, but that's not really going to impact us too much here to a point where we're going to notice a difference in performance. So 15 laps to go, however, here from this Charlotte road course now, and here we go up the inside now of William Byron down into turn 3, and that's going to move us now into P21 past that Valvoline Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. And next up was going to be Matt DiBenedetto as well as the 12 of Ryan Blaney. I did get past the 34 as well of Michael McDowell, and so did William Byron. Actually, he was able to make the pass here. Ross Chastain going at it with Ryan Blaney, and Ryan Blaney is seeing his hopes of moving on in the playoffs dwindle here. It's not looking very good for that number 12 as we're all over the back of that number 12, but we get clear of the 42 of Ross Chastain, move up into P18 now as we are coming up on 13 laps to go in this Charlotte Roval. Now Chastain is going to run into the back of us into the chicane. What is he doing? He's bulldozing his way through Chastain's style, and I start to get a little bit heated. I intentionally hook it left through the grass, and we're going to turn Chastain in front of traffic. The 24 is going to get involved. No caution is going to come out. I really didn't need to do that. I hurt myself more than anything, but I just got fed up really quick with Ross Chastain and decided to take him out, and we would continue on, but we basically got no gains out of it. We lost like 4 positions because of my shenanigans right there. So now here we are, lap 19, and you can see the traffic that we're dealing with. I was getting tired of this traffic really quick. We need to do something different. Get off cycle here because we can make it to the end if we pit at this point on fuel. So maybe let's come in and take tires, maybe 2 tires, fill it up with fuel, and just try to get to the end of this race and be able to set hot laps because we're going to have nobody around us. That was kind of what I was thinking about doing here in these closing laps. We would stay out a bit longer though. Lap 20, here we are making a move on Matt DiBenedetto, and once I caught this cluster of cars right here, DiBenedetto, Austin Dillon, Ryan Blaney, Chase Briscoe, etc., I didn't want to be stuck behind them, so I decided to actually pit right here at the conclusion of lap 20. Kyle Larson continues to lead this race. No speeding there, thankfully, into the corner, so it was 1 can of fuel, 2 right side tires, no repairs. I didn't even want to spend the 2 extra seconds in the pit lane. So we get Mac out with an 8-second stop, and actually we're still coming out right with traffic here, so shows you how far behind some of these cars were. We just went down the whole pit lane, did a 2-tire pit stop, and still we are pretty close to some traffic, and actually in front of some traffic there with Corey LaJoy. Now as we're going to make a move around the outside of Joey Gase here on lap 22, just trying to set really quick lap time, so that way when everybody makes a pit cycle I can get out of that group ahead that I was trying to, of course, leapfrog with this strategy. So I'm putting in the best laps I can, not trying to do that though. We run into the back of the 37 of Ryan Preece, do a little bit of damage there to the front end of our number 27 machine. Now going around the outside, some more contact there with the 37 of Ryan Preece, and a little bit of contact as well with that safer barrier as we continue to try and fight with Preece down into this final chicane. Pit stop's going to be kicking off very soon for the other drivers here. Now all over the back of Josh Bilicki here as we start the final 7 laps here from this Charlotte Roval down into turn 1, trying to get a little sneaky there with Bilicki, but we lose control and we're head on and again into the outside wall. The 15 piles in as well. We get the car back going, but the damage is done. We've made another mistake here today, and that one is going to be a lot more severe than the first one because we know know how many points are up for grabs in stage 3. We're going to be down on horsepower. We have possibly made a mistake that could get us eliminated from the playoffs in the very race where we said there was no chance we would find ourselves eliminated. A wheelhouse of ours here in the Charlotte road course, and I was still so much faster than a lot of cars through the road course section, but once I got onto the oval section, the horsepower difference, you could very well see it, and I would just lose time and time and time on the oval part of the circuit. That mistake was 100% on me. There's no one else to blame. It was stupidity. I got a little bit too aggressive again, and now with the potential storybook story of this 2017 might be coming to an end, all because of me. Kyle Larson, he's coming to the pit lane from the lead, and a lot of people are coming into the pit lane. Kurt Busch remains on the track in that number 1 car, and you can see right here, we are going to exit with Chase Briscoe and Ryan Blaney. This is the group we were trying to exit in front of. However, we're not going to have any speed to fight these guys, so we executed the strategy to perfection. But what we didn't execute was talent. I don't have any talent apparently, because look at this. Look at the speed difference. I stayed out of the way because I'd just be an idiot to try and block cars at this point. So Briscoe, Truex, they're going to go by. The caution is going to fly here from the Charlotte Roval as Kurt Busch is out in front, and I think we found how Kyle Larson throws his chances of winning for the first time this season, because he is not going to be the leader when we get restarted, because Kurt Busch was on the pit lane, I believe, when the caution came out. But we have a tough, important decision right here to make that could decide our season. We're P20. We saw the difference in the horsepower on the oval section. Do we stay out and risk it, or do we pit and give up potentially 15 or so positions to try and have a car that's good enough to work our way forward? I would make the decision to come in and fix the car, because I feel like if we stay out, we wouldn't even finish in the top 30 by the time we're done with the 2 laps with the oval section. So I decide this is our only option. We got to come in. We're faster through the road course section with the damage, but we're so far off on the oval that we lose more time than we gain overall. So 2 laps to go, NASCAR overtime. The reality is, I think right now, if we finish P34, we are going to be eliminated here today. So I got to get the elbows out, got to get aggressive. 3 wide around the outside of Cole Custer. The mission to get back into this playoff continues right here, starts right here, I should say now, as we're going to try and send one up the inside of Timmy Hill as well as Daniel Suarez. We got no time for being nice at this point. We got to go bulldoze mode at this point. I'm going to basically channel my inner Ross Chastain like we did earlier and just try and bulldoze my way through this field to get myself into that round of 8, and it didn't start off very well there after that stack up. We're only P29. Suarez got back in front of us. Ryan Newman as well, just in front of us there in the number 6. Kurt Busch looking to win here at a road course now, as we're 3 wide with Suarez and Newman. We passed them both. P27. Is it enough though? That's the question we don't know. Maybe the mistakes early on in stage 1 and not getting stage points might be the difference maker potentially right here, as we continue to try and find as much track position as we possibly can there. Now down this back straight away up the inside of Haley, as well as Chastain into that bus stop, and now we're going to make a little bit of contact potentially. No, we keep it clean there as we continue side by side. There's some contact on the exit here into oval 3. We're going to move up at a P25, but we still have a lap of racing to go. White flag is in the air for Kurt Busch, so we have made it back. No second overtime necessary here into this final chicane. What a race it has been. It's been chaos here. It's been insane. That's what it's been here on the Charlotte Roval, and this final lap for us is now underway. There is so many unknowns as this final lap starts now. What is the point situation? We really don't know, as we are now on the back of a rival of Eric Jones. This is not what we needed to see, because now I know if depending on the move that I make, it could put us in a position to get wrecked here. So now we got to be a little bit more smart here on the moves that we are making. And you saw right there a little bit of contact with the 43 of Jones covering up as well. The 47 behind myself up the inside of Ty Dillon. We're not gaining barely anything on this final lap here. There's a position there. And now trying to get up the inside of Jones, just couldn't get the power down like he was able to here. Onto the oval transition, P23 into the side of the 43. I said, we got to go. I'm sorry, Eric Jones. I know we're rivals. I know you're going to try and wreck me, but I need to get going here. So we got to do what we got to do, and let's continue on side by side. Contact with the 43 down the back straightaway for the final time. Kurt Busch is cruising to victory here. Jones sends it into the bus stop. Tremendous send right there. We cross him over. More contact. He's sideways. He's nearly turned. He saves it. What a save from the 43. We continue on. A bit of a dirty move there to try and get one extra point, but is that even going to be enough? Are we even close at this point? We don't know. Kurt Busch wins in the Charlotte Roval. We're going to head into this final chicane, hoping to not get a Bodos from the 43. I sent it in a little bit deep to make sure that didn't happen. We're going to cross the line for an unbelievably disappointing result here of P22, and that just might be the end of our playoff run. As you see the finishing order, Larson second, Reddick in third, and Elliott and Busher there fourth and fifth. Austin Dillon made it into the top 10. That is concerning. Of course, Ryan Blaney, Kevin Harvick, a lot of drivers that beat us that we didn't need to beat us by quite a few positions here today, not only in stage 1, 2, but this final stage as well. Let's see the damage. Is our playoff run over when I said there was no chance it would be? Kozlowski, I'm sure, is out. No, he's not. Kozlowski makes it. We are eliminated. We miss it by 5 points to Joey Logano, of all people. Our playoff run has come to an end, unfortunately, here in an embarrassing turn of events here, and it was all my fault. And I never thought we would go and get ourselves eliminated at the Charlotte Roval of all places, because like I said before, this is a wheelhouse for me, and unfortunately I just absolutely embarrassed myself out there for that number 27 team. It was so bad. And now our championship run, it's over here in our first season. Of course, we're going to finish out the season, these final 4 races, and then we'll be waiting on the 2022 DLC before we kick off the actually new NASCAR Heat 5 career mode and a very long NASCAR Heat 5 career mode instead of a 1 season kind of deal. So an unfortunate end to our championship. There you see the round of 8. If you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. That's going to do it for me after a disappointing day here in this Charlotte Roval. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day for watching. I appreciate it so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.